Hey guys and gals, it's Triple L, and now it's finally time to talk about the thing I thought I was going to do a week ago. But now we're here. The characters, the list, the top 10 list or something of the best characters of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. The show is over now. There's enough time to think about these characters and talk about who were their favorites, who really showed their character in the best light. Who was really the funnest to watch. It's really all of that, you know. It's just gonna be a listing, top 10 characters. That said, Iron-Blooded Orphans was one of my favorite series that for me to cover so far, and probably like top 3 of my favorite Gundam series. I'm not sure if it's number 1, but it's definitely up there. And so, you know, let's take this time to just go through the characters. So the way we're gonna split up this video, it's gonna have 3 lists actually. So the first list is gonna be the list that I derived from all the commenters who were on the Gundam videos. What I did was I took all your listings, I assigned a number value to each position. So like number 1 was 10 points, the last one on the list was like 1 point, you know, doing it Mario Kart style. So I will show the full list of the fan favorite characters pretty much. You could probably guess who's going to be the top 2 characters when it comes to the fan list, because a lot of people seem to agree in that regard. Then from there, we're going to talk about my listing, specifically my top 10 favorite characters of Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2. We're specifically calling it Season 2 though, because I'm not taking into consideration people from Season 1. So people like Biscuit and Fumiton aren't going to show up on either list, for me anyway. It's just Season 2 characters and characters that had relevance in Season 2. So that's going to be one of the lists, my top 10 favorite characters, and then we're going to go with the top 10 best characters, or the 10 best characters. Now this is different from my favorite characters, because favorite characters, that's more of an emotional attachment. The best characters are characters that I think arguably are the best written characters. You know, there's a difference between really liking a character and whether or not that character was written in a way such that their actions are logically consistent with their established background. And then for some of the characters, the thematics of the show overall, how does that reflect in that character? So that all goes into the decision making process when it comes to deciding whether or not a character is a well written character, in spite of what feelings you may have about the character. So those are going to be the 3 listings: the fan list, my favorite list, and then the ones I think are arguably the best characters. So let's begin with the fan list. Here it is, drawn up. Here you go. Okay, so here is the listing. At number 1 for the fans, we've got Mikazuki. He was a landslide victory. A lot of people really like him. Then after that, we have McGillis, followed by Orga, and then Kudelia. That's appropriate. Those 4 were effectively the main characters of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, so that makes sense. After that, we got Naze. Naze is a fan favorite. Like, that's not a big surprise. We then have Atra. That one was a bit of a surprise. I didn't think people actually gravitated to her that much, at least to put her that high in the list. After that, we had Rustle, followed by Eugene, which I was really happy about, because at least it showed that people cared about Eugene's character development to some degree, because he was one of the characters that was in the background. After that, we had Julieta. That's a surprise. And then finally, Gaelio. So again, Julieta being above Gaelio was a bit of a surprise, but hey, whatever. Pretty cool stuff. Now, in terms of honorable mentions, just real quick, we have to point out Laughter, because come on, the Laughter death episode was a tough episode, and also Shino, because Shino is awesome, and he deserves an honorable mention. Anyway, that's pretty much the fan listing. So just a big round of thanks to everyone that participated and put up their favorites, put it in the listing. It was really fun to read through all of those. And now moving in to my top 10 favorite characters of Season 2. We're starting from number 10 and going up to number 1. So I'm not really going to explain too much of their position. It's really just my personal favorites. So let's just get into it. Number 10, we have Hush. Hush started off as this really angsty guy, and then once he got over his problems, once he got into Mobile Suit, he became a satellite character for Mikazuki. And what that really just meant was that we got funny interactions, such as him carrying Mikazuki everywhere and him covering his eyes when Mikazuki was dealing with his girls. So I really just liked the shenanigans with Hush, and ultimately his ending I appreciated it. I felt that Hush became a comic relief character, and I thought that it's kind of wasted to kill off the comic relief, but at the end of the day, it showed me how much I really cared about the character in the end, at least for the little entertainment that he gave me. So Hush, number 10. Number 9, this one might get people mad, Orga. Overall, there were just some times that Orga's characterization, and I'll talk about this more in the other list, Orga just, he spiraled too much, and it makes sense to his character, but as a viewer watching that, I didn't really enjoy seeing the same struggle over and over, just with slightly different skin. So that's why he's so low on this one. But I still appreciate Orga. His last moments were the most badass moments ever. Next up, number 8 is Gaelio. Now, Gaelio season 1, you know, I didn't really care too much for him, but him coming into season 2 was actually pretty neat. I appreciated him, and I appreciated the perspective that he brought into things. Overall, I enjoyed his presence because he actually became someone that I actually rooted for at points, because his logic sounded way more sound than McGillis's extreme logic. So Gaelio really won his way through season 2. And also I appreciate that he got a bit of a shipping moment with Julieta at the very end. I love that, man. Like, and you will notice, and in this particular list, the shipping moments really counted a lot. Moving into number 7, and speaking of shipping moments, we got Atra. So Atra, I appreciate her. I don't think she's that good of a character compared to everyone else, but I appreciate that girl. The girl came in with a mission. She had a plan. Her, Kudelia Mikazuki, and she executed magnificently. Man, switch Atra with any of the romantic comedy protagonists, and you're gonna see so much. Like, you're just gonna have a satisfied ending, man, if you had Atra take up the role of any of those other protagonists, except maybe the protagonist from High School DxD. He's actually very competent. So overall, Atra and Mom Atra, Hot Mama Atra, like, she really grew into things. Wow. Overall, Atra, really appreciated the character when it came to executing on the romance that was the Atra, Kudelia, and Mikazuki family unit. So number 6, we're going with Rustle. So Rustle was a character that I had some thoughts about him very early on, and then after talking to a subscriber and like thinking about it and then seeing him just kind of execute that with those thoughts in mind, I realized, like, I appreciate Rustle. Like, he wasn't the most exciting villain because he didn't make the mistake of going out into the battlefield himself, but he executed very well as being a commander and being a really good counterbalance to McGillis. I wish we could have gotten more scenes with Rustle, but his particular character was written in such a way that he makes more effect the less he's seen, and it's metaphorical to his position in Gjallarhorn, as one commenter had pointed out in one video. It was Bat Knight. Bat Knight, I know you're watching this, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, thanks for that. Anyway, number 5, going in with McGillis, my 5th favorite character. McGillis, you know, he was a driving force in this show just as much as Tekkadan was. The whole last half of season 2 is pretty much McGillis taking the show and deciding, hey guys, let's take over the world. And you know, overall, the reason that he's not higher is just because I don't relate to him. McGillis was really extreme. He was a really extreme character, and there were just some aspects of his personality that I just did not want to relate with. McGillis doesn't have a problem killing people. McGillis was very abrasive. McGillis had a power trip. McGillis was also very naive and idealistic, which plays well with his character and overall thematics of the show. But he's not higher on the list because I liked rooting for a lot of other people more than I liked rooting for McGillis. I think just McGillis is also kind of creepy. So that's my my personal emotional response to McGillis. And then number 4, these two characters, they kind of present themselves as a pair, but for this, the listing of my favorites, it's going to be Amita and then the Naze pairing. I really enjoyed the character, but out of the two, for this kind of thing, I actually really appreciated Amita way more, because the characters build off of each other and they effectively function as a unit. But Amita was there for all the shipping moments with Laughter and Akihiro, and she was giving her blessing. So pretty much, to me, Amita became like the best thing ever, because it's like, yes, Amita, be that awesome. Let this happen. Man, I'm rooting for this, please. It was like having a friend who saw these two people and was just like, guys, get together. It's like, I can appreciate that. So overall, I liked Amita for the sense that she gave to the Turbans, because you know, we got to see their family unit sometimes, but Amita was the one that really kind of brought it together. She was the glue because she was the one that interacted with the girls and their problems a bit more than Naze did. Now, with Amita, she also contributed to the Atra plotline, so again, I appreciate her for that, and she was also a very effective pilot, and it was really cool to see her when she actually got into the heat of battle. Even though that was one of her last battles, it was still pretty fun to watch. Like, she was a very competent character, and that extends to Naze as well. She was competent because she had Naze. Naze is competent because he had her. So overall, Amita, number 4. Number 3, my third favorite character, Mikazuki. Now Mikazuki's not higher on the list because it comes back to that whole relating thing. Mikazuki, though he was an awesome character, he was the loudest character on Gundam because he had that first moment where he shot the guy in the first episode that established his character, and he was consistent throughout. It was interesting to see how he grew up, but at the end of the day, he's not higher on my list because he just didn't invoke any passion within me, because I just knew what to expect from Mikazuki at all times. Mikazuki goes to the battle, I can expect people are about to die in a very gruesome way. Mikazuki pulls out a gun, I can expect he's about to triple shot someone. Mikazuki's talking to the girls, I imagine he's going to be effective at whatever is about to happen with the girls. So, you know, overall, watching Mikazuki was just like going in and coming out with exactly what you thought, and then even more. Like, just going in and coming out with exactly what you thought was going to happen, and just having that sense of fulfillment. Mikazuki fulfilled everything that he established. Next up, my second favorite character, it is Shino. I know I care about Shino a lot because when he died, I was still hoping for some way that he could come back. When he died, I was still hoping that I could see more of Floros. I was really sad that he died. And the thing is with Shino was a character that I thought was going to die from the very early onset of season 2. And so every time I'm watching him, it's like, Shino, man, you might die now. And it's like, once I finally thought we got out of this, no, he goes and dies. In like the most epic way possible. Mind you, that death was indicative of what was about to happen to Tekkadan, because everyone went the way Shino did. Just failures after failures. So, oh man, overall, I know that I wanted to see more from the character, and that's what tells me that I really appreciated the character. And finally, my number 1 favorite character for Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2 was Akihito. So Akihito, look, man, I love the guy. People call him Space Guts. I don't care. I loved him. The thing with Akihito was he's a very quiet character, and so all his moments revolved around these small reactions and just trying to understand what was going through his mind. Like when Laughter died, him in the gym room, everything's beaten up. That was cool. When Mikazuki took down Jasly, he's just looking off in the corner saying that he's not going to be a nice guy anymore. When Orga says you can have girls, you can have money, Akihito's like, no, I don't need one. And it's like, oh my god, Akihito, man, he lost so much, but that was a character who was a testament to moving forward. He lost so much, but instead he just kept focusing on what he could keep alive. And so that was a very progressive thinking for Akihito. And let's face it, Akihito gave us one of the best, most satisfying moments in Gundam when he killed Eok in the last episode. That was excellent, man. Again, fulfillment. Like, it's all about fulfillment, and he fulfilled that need to see Eok die. I really thought Eok was going to be a cockroach and just survive. But no, Akihito showed that you can squish a cockroach. And he did that. Oh, it was excellent, man. It's unfortunate that him and Mikazuki had to die, but Jesus, how badass. Overall, Akihito's my favorite character, and again, he had all the shipping moments with Laughter. That kind of plays a part, but it's mostly because Akihito was a good guy. Okay, so that's my top 10 favorite characters. Pretty simple. Now we're going to go into the best characters of Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2.